Welcome everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between oGs's MC versus EG Idra here on Metalopolis. Both players opening up with a good game, good luck, have fun, as this game is taken from MLG Colombus, currently happening over the weekend. If you guys are watching this, most likely the games are done, but there are so many games to watch that I hope you guys do enjoy this. oGsMC spawning oGsMC spawning at the 3 o'clock location. Meanwhile, EG Idra spawning at the 9 o'clock location. MC making sure to say hi to all his fans out there. If you didn't know, MLG and GSL did do a little bit of a cross promotion where some of the players were able to go into the, I think, not group play, but the elimination round play, and oGsMC was one of those players. You can see MC now setting up a pylon here, and now going out to scout. This is the MLG version of Metalopolis, obviously, as this is part of MLG, and you cannot have an ally spawn. So this is definitely going to help Idra out in this matchup. We'll see if he goes for an early hatchery or an early spawning pool. Both options are very viable as well, and we'll see how MC responds. MC looking like he's going to get a gateway down over here, and now it looks as though we don't really see anything yet coming in from Idra. Is Idra going to go for that all-important hatchery early, or go for that spawning pool? And it is going to be spawning pool extractor build. MC now looking around, needs to check if a spawning pool is down. He does see it down over there, and knows that there is going to be a little bit more early aggression. Now, the key portion that MC needs to figure out now is whether or not Idra wants to go for a full macro game, or if he's actually going to try to change it up just a little bit. What's going to happen here now is those drones are putting some pressure onto this probe down over here, getting some damage, and he may actually be able to build up his hatchery in just the right amount of time. He just needs to delay it just a little bit longer, and Idra will be able to perhaps place down that hatchery. No, unable to. He did, in fact, build an overlord and an extractor, so that is the reason why he's a little bit behind. The probe is now down to 5 hit points, and the drone will not be able to catch up. MC was able to delay that for a little bit of time, which was very important and crucial, but Idra also got up his extractor, and he will be able to start harvesting some gas in just a moment. Now training up a Zergling to make his way out, perhaps get some damage in. A Zealot now going to come down into this position here. Now, those two early Zerglings, very important for Zerg, especially on Metalopolis, as there are 2 key Xel'Naga watchtowers to try and take a look and to see what's happening. A drone is going to sneak by, and we are going to see double gas coming in from MC. This is another very important point to keep track of, as the Protoss player now has a handful of options that he can try to go for. He can try to go for Gateway Sentries, which is a very, very powerful build, as Sentries do shut down early Protoss, or sorry, early Zerg by splitting up that army. Or he can go for even higher tech, go for a Stargate, go for Phoenixes and Void Rays. I wouldn't suggest that build here on Metalopolis right now, especially as a second queen already being trained, and we may even get 3 queens in this game, as Idra now just going to keep up on top of his macro, just try to spawn larva as quickly as possible, and train out and just power drone his way through this matchup. You can see that the one drone over here, finally getting taken down by that sentry, but more sentries are still coming out, and one of the benefits of the sentry play is that you're able to get enough minerals and save up for a Nexus, and we may actually be getting that. One Zergling now going to get taken down. The Zergling was trying to see if a Nexus is going to come into play. He doesn't actually see the Nexus, but he may guess it just by the positioning on this pylon. So a pylon down over here may end up revealing MC's strategy, as a Forge should be coming in here in just a moment. Meanwhile, the second hatchery already up by Idra, and Idra probably with a slight drone advantage is going to be able to power drone his way very, very easily in just a little bit more time, and we'll see how this is all going to work out. Another hatchery also being placed down here, so this is already at the 6-minute mark, a third hatchery coming into play, and Idra looking to get a very strong economic advantage with only sentries down and more gateways coming in. MC cannot really move out, but the timing on MC's push is going to be very critical, as he may be moving into 3-gate. At first I thought he was going to go into 3-gate or 6-gate play, but no, instead now going for a Stargate. So that Stargate will be coming out in just a moment, and with Roaches coming out, that is not going to work out well. Void Rays absolutely eat through Roaches. Just for dinner, they are so tasty, and those Void Rays are able to move and attack and able to keep up with a Roach, dealing 25 damage a second against those armored units, even without any upgrades. Harvester count now 36 compared to 29, so Idra with his old-fashioned power droning now getting a very strong economic lead. You're going to see how this translates in just a moment as we are now going into Tier 2. And you got to remember that this is all off of one gas play so far, so he does not have that much. He perhaps is going to get that evolution chamber down, try to research the level 1 attack raids, and then also get the glial reconstitution. Try to time that absolutely perfectly, as the movement speed upgrade on those Roaches allows those Roaches to deal more damage, and then from there perhaps try to take the game. We'll see how this is all going to work out, as we already have one Void Ray out. The evolution chamber is down, as I mentioned earlier, so spore colonies may be placed down as well. We need to see more queens though. 8 drones now being trained up, 5 drones now. Harvester count 48 compared to 37, as the Void Ray already on the move. The Void Ray perhaps not spotted by the Zergling here, and this is going to be a very, very bad day. No, Spore Crawlers already coming in, so 2 Spore Crawlers, 1 Queen against a Spore Crawler. Is it going to work out, is the key question there, and now both sides battling out. The Queen now trying to get some distance, as another Queen now coming in as well, so 2 Queens able to detract and deter this one Void Ray, and that is definitely going to help. We are going to get a Hydralisk and 2 Spore Crawlers now down, and perhaps there's enough Queens down over here in order to protect against that Void Ray. We are getting some Phoenixes though, so those Phoenixes are going to be able to Graviton Beam those Queens and shut them down, as we are still getting more and more Phoenixes. They are being chrono boosted, and I don't like this decision by MC. MC went for Void Ray first, didn't get that much damage, and now these Phoenixes are going to have to wait even longer to try and get more and more energy. The energy on the Queen, or on those Phoenixes, is very important in order to shut down additional units. Currently, we are getting the Groove Spine upgrades, and we are currently supply locked 81 over 78, 84 compared to 92. It is 60 drones versus 49, though, as those Overlords are now getting shot down. That is going to be a problem. 2 Queens now coming in. The Phoenix is now trying to come in as well. So Queens on the low ground, both sides battling out. Another Graviton Beam, and now 3 Queens are just going to get simply shut down there. This Void Ray is not fully charged, and this is going to be a definite issue. The Queens now trying to battle it out. Double Graviton Beam once again, trying to shut them down. Another Phoenix coming into play, and with 5 Phoenixes, that is going to be a lot of damage to be had. The Roach Warren is currently in play. Hydralisk now trying to make their way over as well. Hydralisk trying to get as much damage as possible, but is now supply locked once more. Hydralisk do have that Groove Spine, so that is definitely going to help. Trying to battle out 1 Hydralisk. Graviton Beam going to get shut down. Another one. So beautiful micro by MC, but with 9 Hydralisk coming out and that Groove Spine research now completed, those Void Rays are not going to be able to deal nearly as much damage, especially as that Void Ray already down to 21 hit points, slowly letting those shields recharge. Army-wise, we see a significant advantage by MC. The problem, though, is that MC is perhaps still behind in economy, yes, by 15 Harvesters. So the longer this game goes, the better it is going to be for MC. But MC has a significant army advantage at this stage in the game. We'll see whether or not Idra will be able to translate his economic advantage into an actual army advantage. We are getting the level 2 weapons upgrade, so those Hydralisks are already dealing, I believe, 13 damage per attack. The Queen's also dealing 10 damage per attack as well, as another hatchery now coming into play. A very gutsy move, as it is very difficult. And oh, a Queen getting caught out of position. No armor on that Queen. Currently immobile, or sorry, 1 base armor, but really not enough to do anything. And now Overlord trying to fly away, able to do so because MC actually warped in units, which ended up blocking the pathing on that Overlord. Overlord now needs to be very careful, does not get spotted by those Phoenixes, and just flying in the right direction. Idra losing so many resources so far, 1,600 versus 50. And that is not good news at all. Idra does have a superior food count, though, so MC and Idra still battling it out. An Overlord now trying to back off, and Idra now going to be forced to try to play in the dark, and that's not good news at all. Idra really likes to use a lot of his forces, or a lot of those Overlords, to be able to keep track and do some scouting. But with all of these Phoenixes in the air, those Phoenixes are shutting down any possible sight, as we are now going into a robotics bay. And now we are perhaps going to get some Hydralisks moving out. Those Hydralisks do definitely need creep in order to deal, to catch up to those Phoenixes and catch up to those Void Rays. The creep spread is decent, but needs to be spread out much more quickly. Otherwise, it's not going to deal that much. The Spire now coming into play as well. So we'll see what the Spire does as the Hydralisks now, 20 Hydralisks now making their way out. Even more Hydralisks coming in. So this is going to be a mass Roach Hydra play as the Ventral Sacks now being researched. An Observer does spot this large army here. No Overseer, so that perhaps Idra, does he see the little flicker right there? And I do not know. I cannot read Idra's mind. As the Stalkers and Sentries now coming in back over here. We are going to have a drop now coming into play. And the Observer does see this. So the Stalkers may be able to get some damage onto those units. Down goes one full. Down goes two full. And wow, this is just a complete massacre against Idra. Idra losing his army, losing multiple units, gonna lose his overlords as well. The Roaches and the Hydralisks unable to really battle it out. They need to try to retreat, but the Stalkers also have Blink, and this is just going to continue to mount the losses for Idra. Idra trying to use a drop, unable to do so because of that Observer. And MC just taking the easy victory there and really winning out in that battle. But so many more units still coming in and funneling in from the back. Will he have enough? The key question. We are getting more Sentries and Zealots now trying to make their way in. Hydralisks now making a move down over here. This may be a little bit of a weird positioning as there are 2 Photon Cannons here. And the Photon Cannons may actually destroy this one leading Overlord, and that is going to be really bad. So we are getting a drop play into the main base here, and now a drop play into over here. Is it going to actually get destroyed, though? No, it is not going to get destroyed, so slightly lucky as the Roaches and the Hydralisks battling it out over here. Not many of those Zealots are make their way in. The Stalkers need a blink in order to get in, and now perhaps going to do a nice retreat, but there are Hydralisks now over here sniping down a Nexus. This Nexus will easily get destroyed as Idra has 2-0 upgraded Hydralisks going after those probes. Probes taking in so much damage. Stalkers now need to try to come over, but those Stalkers are now going to have a very difficult time as those Hydralisks are going to be able to out DPS those Stalkers. But very nice Blink Micro coming in, preventing many of those Stalkers from getting destroyed. Zealots finally coming in. Idra forgetting about these 2 Hydralisks over here, and those are just going to get lost very easily. But it looks like we're going to have a nice counterattack of armies. So Idra running off of 3 bases, trying to stay in this game. He has a lot more losses, but still able, because of his strong economy, stay in this so far. Stalkers quickly blinking back in, focusing down those Corruptors. Roaches are trying to turn around, trying to provide some cover fire against those Stalkers. Stalkers are also upgraded 2-0 as well, as more Corruptors are being added. Protoss army is slightly larger at this stage in the game, as the Stalkers and Roaches, both sides battling it out. Stalkers doing a good job just blinking away, and Idra not attack moving with his units, and not all of them are able to engage at the same time. He really needs to regroup and try to figure out what his long-term strategy is, as he is really behind in forces. He did deal a significant blow to the economy, but he does not have that large of a lead. You can see the income difference, 800 gas, double the amount of gas, and 700 mineral difference there, as drones are finally being transferred over here. The main base is nearly mined out. More drones are being transferred. Army-wise, 4425, 1700 gas versus 3725, 1750 gas. Roaches and Zerglings still coming in. Zealot Charge also coming in as well, as the probes no longer have to do any long-distance mining. Idra now sitting at maximum food at 83 drones. We'll see how he's going to time this, as we are now going into Hive Tech. Overlords may be going in for another Roach. Going in for another Roach drop. They're trying to split the armies. The Stalkers, are they going to blinking in? Now both sides battling it out. The Stalkers, however, blinking in into a very large group. Both sides coming in, as well as the Roaches just trying to win this war of attrition. Production-wise, we can see a lot of units still being trained in, as the Roaches now finally coming into the main base here, taking down some of those probes. Probes are now getting destroyed. More Stalkers coming back over as well, and now it is time for a tactical retreat. But you can never tactical retreat from Overlords, from Blink Stalkers. Those Stalkers just easily cleaning up there, and that was once again a bad move or a bad miscalculation. The Roaches perhaps would have been better to just try to go toe-to-toe against those Stalkers and win out. Army-wise, we do have the larger army from Idra, as this Protoss army is constantly being split apart. No good here. Zerglings now coming in, finding this gold mineral expansion as it's trying to be set up. The Stalkers and Colossi now making their way over. Both sides going to battle it out still. And the Corruptors quickly going after Colossus. The Colossus will get taken down. but now those Corruptors have nothing to attack and nothing to destroy. Zerglings trying to focus down this Nexus over here as the Roaches continue to push in. Pathogen glands now being researched as well, so Infestor is going to be coming in as well, as those Hydras are now being added in back and forth. The Stalkers getting destroyed, and Idra just winning this game with sheer macro. I loved MC's micro play, but Idra really taking the advantage and continuing to push down the pressure, as MC is now only running off of 2 bases, and that is going to severely hurt him as more units are still being rallied straight into the battle here. Army-wise, 4,000 or 6,000 versus 2,400. Idra doing such a great job, and I don't know what MC can really do at this stage. The Corruptors are still in the air, casting Corruption on Stalkers whenever they can. The Roaches do need to back off. The Stalkers may be able to get in a couple more blinks, focus down more units, some Hydralisks, but as the armies are now just in this push and tug and pull of battle, I believe the army of Idra is just getting way too strong. Stalkers now battling it out, Corruptors coming in, and Idra using brute force after a couple well-timed drops gets the GG. Well played. Really beautiful game by Idra. MC even had to give props out to Idra on this particular matchup. Multiple drops, multiple locations. He had more losses overall in the course of the game. 800 resources more. But his income and his ability and his game sense to know that he could easily take 3 bases was really what carried him throughout the rest of the match. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 matchup here between oGsMC and Evil Genius's Idra. Stay tuned for game 2.